All right, we're back again with another episode of Roofer Reflections. I'm really excited to have Charles here. Charles, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Tats.
How'd you get into the industry?
Well, actually, it was kind of an accident. About 23 years ago, I was in between work. I had lost a job in the business, and a guy who used to be my Velux sales rep when I was working at a lumber company here in Chicago. Kind of crazy story. I'll shorten it for this, but he shows up in my church one day, and we kind of recognized each other. And it was a few months after that he heard that I was looking for a job, and he said, "Hey, I think Velux is hiring. Let me connect with my old manager." And the rest is history. Here I am 23 years later, still working for Velux.
What made you move towards the retail side of the building materials?
Yeah. When I came to Chicago in early 92, we were still kind of in a recession. I had a business degree and couldn't find work. And it just happened that my girlfriend's brother-in-law was an architect and a developer, and he had a relationship with the people at Heinz Lumber, and he set up an interview for me, and I got hired. I'll share this with you. I got hired to make $18,000 a year in 1992 to work as an inside salesperson at a lumber yard in Chicago. And, here I am now 30 some odd years later, still in the industry.
What made you stay all these years? And I guess for the most recent part in and around roofing.
I really came to love what I do, honestly. Even as a kid, I loved doing things with my hands, right? I worked in a lot of different trades. I was good at none of them, right? A jack of all trades and a master of none. I worked for some concrete people. I did some drywall work. I had a really skilled carpenter teach me a few things about finished carpentry. I was a butcher, man. And, but I always had this interest in, working with or in the trades. And so when I went to go work for Heinz, I loved it. I loved my customers. I loved, being close to, I'll call it, salt of the earth people who were just making things, right? They were fixing things. They were rebuilding things. And it was, there was like a tangible thing at the end of that. And so, that just was attractive to me. And then coming to Velux, I get to work with builders and roofers and architects, and I just love helping people understand things. And and so it's just kind of a natural thing, right? So it's been good.
What would you say for people that are generally looking at the roofing industry as a career? Like, what sort of advice do you have for them?
I think it's a great business to be in. Once you get in this business, it's really difficult to get out. I think it's mostly because of the relationships, though, that you start to develop in our business, right, Tats? You know people from all over the country. And actually, when I was preparing to meet with you, I'm frankly been kind of humbled that I get to do this with you. You've the people that have sat in this chair and have had a chance to speak with you is really, really impressive. But it's the relationships, right, that you develop. So I'd say if you're thinking about getting into this business, you can certainly look forward to developing great relationships. I think operating with the sense of integrity, which should really go without being said, right, Tats, that when you get into business, you need to be integral and do the right thing. And I think the best thing that young guys getting into the business can take hold of is if you approach your business from the perspective of helping people rather than trying to sell something, you'll be way more successful, not just in your career, but in life as a whole. And that's super satisfying, is helping people solve problems, right? And be better.